Hello my dear students, once again I welcome to your Civics online class. Again today we will be doing the continuation part of your 5th chapter from your Civics portion that is known as election. So if you have seen the first part of the video of the election chapter, there I have told you about what is the meaning of election, what are the main features of the election, as well as what is exactly the election commissioner with the main chief election commissioner of India, as well as he or she has been assisted by 2 election commissioners. So similarly we will be doing the continuation part, but in today's chapter we will be mainly focusing on the types of elections, how the election works, how it is being supervised or it is being under the guidance of chief election commissioner, and what are the roles that they play mainly to make the elections work very fair mode, deploying all those kinds of paramilitary as well as sorting out with all those kinds of like riots or any such kind of classes. So let's start the class. So first we will start with the kinds of election. Election mainly refers to the electing or appointing of any of the representatives, but on the basis of universal adult franchise. And whenever we study the chapter called election, it mainly focuses on the 2 articles. Article number 324, which talks about the election department, and 326, that means the citizens of India are given the right to cast vote under universal adult franchise or suffrage. So based on that, we see that there are mainly 2 types of or 2 kinds of election. First is known as the direct election, and the second is known as the indirect election. In the direct election, we see that how the people of India or the citizens of India, they just go to a polling booth and just they cast a vote, and it comes under the universal adult franchise or suffrage. But similarly, if you talk about the indirect election, it is been through the intermediate, that is the middle body with the representative who comes for MPs, MLAs, and in that way election is being conducted under the indirect. For an example, if you talk about the direct election, examples would be like Lok Sabha election, which is being conducted after a gap of every 5 years, followed by Vidhan Sabha elections 5 years, and then talking about the Panchayati Raj election, that also comes under 5 years. But in the Panchayati Raj election, it is been for the overall 3 tiers of system. First, known as the Panchayat for the village area, second, Block Samiti or Panchayat Samiti for the block level, and third, Jilla Parishad for the district level. But if we give an example for the indirect election, it would be like the President of India, because the President of India is being appointed by the people in an indirect election, indirect way. Similarly, even the Vice President of India and the Rajya Sabha members. We all know there are mainly 2 types of houses in the parliament. First is known as the Lok Sabha, the lower house, and the second is known as the Rajya Sabha or the upper house. In Rajya Sabha there are 250 members. So based on that, even the Rajya Sabha members appointment or elections, that is electing point, will be done in the indirect election mode. Next, focusing on, there are mainly the 3 types of direct election. Direct elections, mostly talking about the Lok Sabha election, Vidhan Sabha election, Panchayati Raj election. But apart from that, even the direct election are being categorized into 3 broad headings. First, we talk about the general election. General election, it was in first done in the year of 1952, where we see the first Prime Minister known as Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and following all these kinds of norms as well as the criteria. That means with the universal adult suffrage or franchise, that is by the citizens of India casting a vote, and it is mainly for the gap every 5 years. So after every gap of 5 years, it will be held. Like for an example, if we talk about the PM, Prime Minister of India, that is Damodar Das Modi at present. So he was being appointed for the 2nd consecutive time in the year of 2019. Again after +5, 2024, again we will see the new phase of PM in India. Next we talk about the midterm election. In the midterm election, what it happens, we are talking about the Lok Sabha members as well as the state legislative assemblies. And in case if there is any such removal, or if the members of Lok Sabha or the state legislative assembly are dissolved on the basis before expiry, overall the election procedure will be Chief Election Commissioner, established by the Election Commissioner body, and rules, regulations, laws and orders with kinds of programs they are trying to maintain, so that there should not be any such kind of haste whenever election is being conducted. So this was overall the second part of your election chapter. Just go through all the topics. Hope you have understood. Till then, God bless.